is that Mustang, is the Fastback, is that your daily driver?
No, it's actually currently in the process of getting painted, which it's been in the shop for 3 years now. I took it to a guy who works by himself, and he's charging me very, very little. He painted a 65 Mustang for Jason Bone, so that's where I got the reference from.
Sure.
So I bought that car, I want to say 2014 maybe, and drove it from Tampa to Birmingham when I lived in Birmingham. Greatest 8-hour road trip of my life. Had a massive sunburn on my left arm from sitting on the window, on the door. It was so loud I had to wear earphones just to listen to music.
Wow.
And I got home and it was what I wanted, but there were some cosmetic stuff that I wanted to refurbish, mainly the interior. And so I stripped the entire interior out of the car. And I got to that point, I was like, well, the wiring is a little off, and I didn't really like the engine. I think it could be better. So I just disassembled the whole car.
Oh, wow.
Now, hold on. So when you say you, because it looks like you're doing quite a bit of the work yourself, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I did it all. Yeah, I trailered it. We were in the process of moving, me and my wife, from Birmingham to Sea Island, Georgia. Mm-hmm. And when we got it to Sea Island, Georgia, we bought a condo, 3-bedroom condo with 1-car garage. And I parked it in there, and I literally took every nut bolt off the car.
Wow.
In a space, if you can imagine, those Mustangs are pretty narrow anyways, but
Yeah.
Sure.
The garage space, I had 2 feet on either side of the car to work with. And I'm taking parts off. I'm storing it in the spare bedroom upstairs, and
So what you're saying is your wife is very patient and understanding.
yes. It took a lot of convincing that this was a good idea. And I disassembled the whole car, and then I slowly started to piece it back together, at least all the mechanicals. So I rebuilt the suspension. I tore the motor down. I took it to a machine shop and had them clean it, paint it, and then bring it back to me so that I could build it all myself. Because I wanted to learn. A big point of all of this was for me to learn how to mechanically build a car and how a car works. So I bought an engine stand. I put the engine block on the stand. I started assembling, put the camshaft, the crankshaft, all the pistons in, all the bearings, the heads and everything, and just slowly started rebuilding it. And then if you go on my Instagram, you can see the video of when I first started the car. That was probably the most nervous I've ever been, was starting that car for the first time, because I didn't know if it was going to blow up or not.
So hold on. So had you had you ever done anything like this prior to?
No. So the interest in cars. Yeah, I sound crazy, don't I?
No.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's like, I mean, if you think about an engine in its simplest form, right? I mean, anybody that kind of understands, mechanics. I mean, you kind of get how an engine works until you take the engine apart. And then you've got all these pieces that have to, I mean, it's like the worst jigsaw puzzle you could ever put together.
Yeah.
And you can't just force something in there, because when you force it in, then you got bigger issues, right?
Yeah, exactly. The tolerances in an engine are so small, you have to measure everything. And I had no idea. Like, this is all stuff that I learned as I was going. I bought all the manuals, put it together, and but it was, I mean, as you said earlier, all my Instagram stuff is all car stuff. Like, it just fascinates me. And car guy on the PGA Tour, like, all the guys come to me and ask car questions. And that Land Rover Defender 110, that was Harris English's Defender.
Wow. Okay.
That he bought. And it stopped working because he wasn't driving it. And I said, hey, bring it over. I'll take a look at it, 1 year later, I've got the entire dash ripped out, the wiring harnesses ripped out, the carburetors off the engine, rebuilding them on a table. I basically put that car back together, and every time I talk to him, I said, "Is it still running?" It's like, "Yep." Every time I turn it on, it starts right up. So
Nice.
I must be doing something right,
That's good, man.
Did the Mustang start up?
Yeah, it did. It ran. I broke in the camshaft and took it for a test drive. I think I burned out the clutch because I didn't have the shifter tied down, bolted down enough. So I had trouble getting it into first gear, and I had to coming out of the gas station, I had to get going in second gear on a brand new clutch. That's a no-no. So I think when I get it back, I'm gonna have to replace the clutch, and then then all I have left to do is the interior. So I'm excited to get it back. I hope get it back this year. I'd love to be able to drive it this fall. Mm-hmm. But I got to stay patient. I got to just golf first, right?